Welcome to the Veronica Edwards Show, where we have fun financial conversations that everyone listening can apply to their personal and professional life. I'm your host, Veronica Edwards, CPA, and today we are back, second part of season 6 in 2026. And I will say it's been a snowy one. We'll be talking about that in just a few. So again, want to shout out the V team. As always, we have hit V team over 100 YouTube subscribers. So thank you guys so much. Our new goal before the end of season 6 is 250. We ultimately want to get in the 4 digits. We want to get to 1,000, but we are crawling before we walk. So if you are looking to be a sponsor or to partner with us, or if you just want to support the show as a guest, a loyal listener, please like and subscribe to this page. And always you can head over to veronicaedwards.buzzsprout.com to hear all the prior shows, current shows, audio only. So today I would like to welcome Miss Ebony Sharonda, a faith-driven entrepreneur, speaker, and business leader who serves as the COO of Cassie Electric, as well as the owner and founder of Ebony Sharonda Co. Welcome back, Miss Ebony Sharonda. How are you?
Hey, congratulations on all your YouTube subscribers.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. Ebony also has
Girl.
a YouTube channel called the Ebony Sharonda Show, and it's all about faith-based and leadership initiatives, all about clarity and confidence. I was telling Ebony, she's giving me this Zen vibe, spiritual. I'm loving the head wrap. Yes. So how have you been? How's 2026 treating you?
Is it already February? Like, I can't even believe this. This is insane. I feel like we were
Yes.
just celebrating the new year and we are well into it. So 26 has been pretty cool. I can't complain. Like you said, snowy.
Yes. Ebony Sharonda is in Greenville, South Carolina, just an hour to an hour and a half down the mountain from us in Asheville. We are on snow day number 3 for my son in the last 3 weeks, I think. And you
We,
have one also that's still in
yeah.
school. And I know I don't think we've had a week in 2026 where the kids have gone the whole week.
No, I don't believe that is anything that has happened this year, just thinking about that, no, I don't think he's on a full week between Martin Luther
Yes.
King and the Christmas holiday rolling into the new year. Yeah, you're right. No.
Yes. Yes. And you mentioned Martin Luther King. This episode is going to
Mhm.
be airing in Black History Month, which I'm always
Yes.
excited for, which we always give that disclaimer. It's the shortest month of the year, but every day is Black History,
For me
so
anyway. For
that
me
part.
anyway. Yes.
So I
Power to my
told
people.
CJ, yes, he's home today, but part of his homework is that we're going to also do some Black History
Mhm.
before we really get into I don't even know, Wakanda and some other foolery that we'll say is also Black history, so we can play on the snow day. So, Ebony, today we are going
Mhm.
to focus on fatigue,
Yeah.
specifically decision fatigue. And I know that we probably think like, what is that? So we're going to define that because that is something, especially in Black History Month, that affects us, especially Black women, and just feeling burnt out. And Ebony, I know we have talked before about us experiencing that, especially in recent. So, can you
Yes.
relate
Yes.
to decision fatigue?
1,000%. I mean, this is so fitting. I hope that this hits home with all of our listeners, especially our women. We wearing a cape 24/7 and it is heavy and we want to take it off. Like it
Yes.
is exhausting. It's
Yes.
exhausting. And I think sometimes very much unappreciated.
Absolutely. I mean, you do so much, and sometimes we just need to just chill. But a lot of times, then we'll feel bad if we're not doing all the things.
Hmm.
It's a lot. So we're gonna talk about some tips. We're gonna
Sure.
definitely talk about just the signs that you might have decision fatigue and why, and then some things
Hmm.
that you can do to offset that. But before we jump in, because it's Black History Month and we love our statistics,
Yes,
I
we
did
do.
want to talk about how Black women are among the fastest growing types of entrepreneurs in the United States. However, comma,
Mhm,
although we have this progress and we have this growth, you already know what I'm gonna say, Ebony. Black
mhm.
women leaders report disproportionately levels of stress and burnout, especially when shouldering decision-making responsibilities every day.
Okay.
So, Ebony, any other stats that you want to add before we really define and break down this whole decision fatigue and how we can get rid of that in 2026?
For sure. So what really stands out to me immediately is that Black women are doing a lot with very little margin. We own over $3.5 million businesses nationwide, and most of us are self funded, over 80%. That means the risk, the pressure, and the responsibility sits squarely on our shoulders. Even though Black women are among the most educated groups in this country, we're still more likely to be denied loans, offered less capital, and asked to prove ourselves over and over again to gain access to basic resources. When you put all of that together, decision fatigue isn't surprising. It's almost inevitable. We're constantly making high impact decisions without the safety men and others often have. So I think those
Mm,
statistics say a mouthful for us when we think about the impact that we're having on the community and the lack of resources and support that we get. So those are some startling numbers for us to sit with. 80% of us are
yes.
self-funded. Yeah. Think
Yes.
about that.
And ugh, we see it a lot because we're business coaches, and especially
Mhm.
with me being asked, especially more so now as a CPA, to do financial literacy classes, I'm meeting so many really awesome Black-led organizations, especially women-led, and they are awesome in what they do, completely illiterate when it comes to financials, and I'm like, "What?" So you can't look
Yeah,
at
I
someone
see
and
that all
say,
the time.
"Oh, it still baffles me, and I'm like, "No,
All the
surely they're
time.
like this amazing cleaner or this
Mhm.
dynamic engineer. You should
Mhm.
know all your numbers," and there's people that haven't filed taxes in years, they don't wanna deal with it, they're overwhelmed.
Mm.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, "Whoa." So and that's the reason why. It's not because people don't have viable businesses, it's just because they have incomplete financials.
Well, I think that is very much a huge part of it, but I also believe that in to your point, it's so overwhelming. Part of this making fatigue is that all of this is so overwhelming. They don't teach you in high school how to do business. They teach you a trade, they teach you how to go to college, but they don't teach you how to run a business. They don't
Yeah.
really talk much about entrepreneurship. And when they do, they make it very sexy, like, oh, you can own your own business, but
Do
there's
whatever you
very little
want.
on your own schedule. Come and go as you please. Work at the beach, like all of that. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
those things are possible. I'm never going to say that those things are not possible. However, the work that you have to put in order to get to that place in your business where you can work at the beach and come and go as you
Mhm,
like, it takes
mhm.
a really long time, a lot of obedience, a lot of discipline,
Yep.
a lot of sacrifices, and resources. And so a lot of times people who are new in their business, they're dealing with products and services, customers, they're the marketing
Yep.
person, they're the HR
Yep.
person, they're accounting person, and they're making decisions every single day about something. Even down
Mhm.
to they get home, us women, and they're like, "What's for dinner, mom?"
I
Like,
hate that question. I hate that question.
so you literally are nonstop, 24/7 thinking about what you're gonna do next. What you're gonna do, what do I have to do about this? How do I respond to that? That's
Right.
exhausting. And a lot of people don't fully understand that. So when it comes down to not making decisions, a lot of that procrastination comes from I'm burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't even know what to do. Like I can't even put my thinking cap on because I'm just trying to keep the car in the road.
Yes. So it sounds like decision fatigue is just that overwhelming mental exhaustion of just
Mhm.
constantly making choices. Gotcha. Okay. So
All day, every day.
it never stops. Like sometimes I'm just like I don't care, just so I don't have to make a
Mhm.
decision, and then that's when my husband Carlos was like, "Okay, got it." That I see
Yep,
that you're at
yep,
that point. I'm like, "Thank you," before I scream. So, yes, so, Ebony, let's
yeah.
talk about the 4 common examples of decision fatigue and burnout that we typically see as Black female leaders.
So one is constant high stake decision making. So this is when you can't outsource the work, right? This is when you don't have
Mhm,
the ability to delegate or outsource. Every decision feels heavy.
mhm.
Staffing, finances, growth. There's always something riding on the outcomes. And for Black women, there's often an added layer of scrutiny. We're aware that our decisions may be questioned more, so we feel the weight of having to get it right every single time. Could you imagine the pressure of
Yes.
trying to get it right every single time? Like you can't, there's no
Yeah.
room for error.
There's no room for error, and I don't know why we put that pressure on ourselves, even though
Mm-mm.
we know we've been in situations where people do expect us to know way more than they expect other people. I'm not gonna put that pressure on myself. I'm gonna know what I know, and I will get back to you with an intelligent response, but I'm gonna need time to research. I'm not just gonna be bullied, or pressured into something. But for whatever reason, we are people pleasers, women, and
Mhm,
we will
mhm.
allow that to overwhelm us. Okay, so that totally makes sense. So I think we can
But
all
it's a little
relate to.
deeper than that. It's a little deeper
Oh,
than you being worried about somebody else, right? Like the scrutiny part of it plays a piece in that, but constant high stakes decision making is deeper because there is nobody else to make the decision.
true. Right. You can't
Okay? So
delegate it.
like you cannot delegate this. This is who do I hire? Like who's going to be my assistant? That's a decision you have to make. You can
Right.
get it wrong and other people may have things to say, but at the end of the day, like this is a high decision for you because this is going to be your right hand person, right? This is somebody that you need to trust.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have a good working relationship with and personal relationship. I mean, if you're my assistant, it goes way beyond just work, right? Like, you know
Yes.
a lot of my personal stuff. You're looking at my calendar, you're reading my emails, right? Like, so
Yes.
if we're doing
Yes.
these things, like the decision of hiring someone of that caliber, like you don't take that for granted. And it's not so much that you're worried about getting it wrong based off of what somebody else may be thinking. You're worried, like, if I get this wrong, like, I've just exposed myself. I'm vulnerable, right? Like, I am
Mhm,
open and
mhm.
accessible to somebody stealing from me, somebody,
Yeah,
messing something up that could be really important, like a really important client. I could lose some, those kind of
mhm.
high stakes decision making is what we're talking about in number one.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought that perspective because it was very easy for me to see the people pleasing side, but not thinking, no, there's just nobody else to make this decision. Do we run payroll or do we not pay the utility bill? Like, or do I
Sis,
hire this person?
yes.
I understand. Gotcha. Okay. Number two,
Yes.
what do we have next? How does this come out?
Lack of support and mentorship. We gotta have that,
Mm.
right? A lot of Black women are leading without real sounding boards. We're holding vision, responsibility, and execution often alone. Being held to high standards without being given support is exhausting. You're
Mhm.
expected to perform, but not always resourced to sustain that performance. Okay, great example, your bank. Okay.
Oh.
Like your bank is supposed to support you in your growth. You're supposed to have a relationship with your banker that you can go in and you can have a conversation with him. And I think a lot of what we're dealing with as women is we think we have to know everything. It's
Mhm.
not about that we need to know it. We need to know people that know it. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't have to be a banker. I'm not a banker, boo, but I got a banker and he's my
Yes.
mentor when it comes to banking, right? Like, because
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know anything about that. So I'm trusting him. And a lot of us don't have those resources, and those resources are extremely important for us to be able to scale, to grow, to feel supported. And so, like,
Hmm.
the challenge is not only for business women and business leaders, but also for people who are in position to be able to offer that mentorship. Like, you
Yes.
should be doing that. That is your responsibility. Sorry. That's what
Right.
God said, not me.
Yes, and I think so many times people don't mind being mentors, but you need to approach a person that you think would be a good mentor, and then just don't wait on them to establish that relationship. Say, "Hey, I wanna put something on your calendar for lunch or coffee or just for a
Mhm,
conversation." Absolutely, we talk about that all the time. Mentorship, it's free and it's so important, especially for minorities. So, yeah, so we've talked about constant high stake decision making, lack of
mhm,
support, and mentorship. What is number
mhm.
three?
Number three is financial decision strain. For many entrepreneurs,
Oh,
decisions about funding is what? Financial decisions are a
yes.
daily mental load, pricing, payroll, funding,
Yes.
cash flow. And when access to
Mm-hmm.
capital is limited, every dollar decision counts. And it feels very personal. When you're
Yes, it
self
does.
funding and facing barriers to traditional financing, the stress isn't just about money, it's about survival and sustainability. And girl, I know up underneath this turban, honey, I got a lot of gray hair.
Girl, mine are starting to come on the sides too. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, that funding,
This
that
right
pricing
here.
people.
That
Ebony,
did it.
Ebony, Ebony, Ebony. She has experienced
Mhm.
it. Ebony is the COO
Listen.
of a construction electrical company in an industry
Mhm.
that people don't look like her, and an industry that they want to pay you later, that you have to have equipment and people and all the things. And for me financially, yes, there's strains at time, but it's me. It's a computer.
Yeah.
We're home for a snow day. I'm still working, but some of my other friends in industries, they're like, "Hey, I don't need to be closed because now my customers can't get to me." Or in your field, Ebony, you can't pull wire, do different things if the weather doesn't allow you to do those things. So that is a real
Sis.
one.
That
That
blew your
is
head
real.
off right there. Financial strain is serious, like, and it will
Mhm.
take you out of here. So I strongly suggest that you deal with that, right? Like, you get the support that you need, you find the
Yes.
resources that are available to you, and you really don't hold all of that stress inside of you because it will take you out, sis. Don't do it.
Yes, and we're gonna talk about this last, area,
Yeah.
but then we're gonna talk about action items and tips for everybody. Because all these things, I'm like, we've all related to it. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
tell ourselves as well, but I'm looking forward to those tips. So what is the
For sure.
last area, Ebony, where this decision fatigue is coming out?
Balancing your business and your personal life, child. Listen, this is another very serious one for me. And on the top of business leadership, many of us are managing households, caregiving, and
Mhm.
emotional labor. That dual responsibility doesn't pause while you get busy. Okay. Over
Mhm.
time, that constant pull drains energy and clarity, even for the strong, honey, capable leaders. So, number
Yes.
four, balancing business and personal life.
Whoo, and that's so hard
Sis,
when
I
my
felt like
business
we
is
was
called
reading my
Balance
diary.
Virtually. I'm telling you, this is therapy because we've all been in business for many years and you still have to reset and tell yourself. It's like
Mhm,
you kind of just get in the matrix sometimes and you got to remember like, ooh, yes, I am my business, but I do need
mhm.
to separate my business. You know what I'm saying? So that is
Yeah,
a
I think
very good point.
and I think too, generally, when we start mixing business into your personal life, is because of the financial support that our personal lives is providing these businesses. So it goes back
Yes.
to the fact that we're 80% funded, right? Self funded. if this doesn't go right, like, my personal life is not gonna go right. So, we've
Right.
got a lot of things on the table that we have to take into consideration when we're thinking about how do we navigate this and we're looking for resources or action steps to be able to get out of it, right? Like, so when we start
Right.
talking about the clarity framework, which is what, I teach, most of my, clients, is about let's get to the root understanding of why I am doing what I'm doing, right? Once we can get
Yes.
clear on that, then we can start to chart a pathway into how do we get ourselves out of it. But until you fully understand, like, why am I stressed out in my personal life? Why am I commingling my business and my personal, not just in my
Mhm.
financials in terms of my P&L and L and my bank statements, but why am I commingling these emotions that is tied to my business and
Mm.
my personal life? Why are they seeming to run together? I know for me in my past, it was I worked with my husband.
Oof.
Like we was together every day, all day. And when
Right.
we got home, we could not seem to turn off the business aspects of it. I mean, like you don't want to be making love talking about, material, right? Like when
Right.
we gonna pull the
Right.
wire?
Right. And it's
Like
it's it's very interesting because it's different because you worked in a business with your mother, but your mother had her house and went
yes,
home. And so,
yes,
yes, if you're bringing that all home or if you, work from home and everything is right here, I'm feeling it more so with the snow. Like, I'm ready for
yeah.
everybody to get back to their job so I can get
Uh-huh,
back to my space.
uh-huh.
So, oh, yes. So you
Okay.
definitely can
Yes,
understand having that balance. So let's talk about some 5 actionable tips, especially for
sure.
our Black women, Black
Mhm.
History Month. How do we manage this decision fatigue and burnout?
Well, number one for me would be to get you an advisory network. Don't have to carry these
Period.
decisions alone. Trusted advisors, whether they're your mentors, they're your peers, or professionals that you have. So let's not leave that off the table when we talk about advisory network. That includes if
Mhm.
you need a therapist, boo, get you one, right? Like
Please
get
sign me up.
somebody.
Yep. Yep.
Get
Yes.
somebody that you can talk to that's objective, that is not entangled into your day-to-day operations of your business. They can see high level, they have access
Mhm.
to resources. That's another thing. Like you just don't want somebody who's your peer who don't know nobody. You would like to have
Right.
somebody that can pour into you and you do the same. So that's another thing is that when you form an advisory network, you need to be prepared to come prepared. You don't
That
need to
part.
just show up and be like, "Ooh, what y'all got for me?" Right? Right. What we gonna talk about
Yes.
today? No,
Exactly. Have some expectations. Mhm.
absolutely, and come prepared for that. So, my tip number 2 would be decision frameworks. So, frameworks help remove emotions from the moment. We just talked about this when I just told you this is the work that we do with Ebony Sharonda is we create a framework of clarity, right? Where am I now? We call it a
Mm.
GPS. Where am I going? And we
Ooh.
know all in the GPS there's turns, left, right, hey, detours, roadblocks,
Mhm.
things happen, right? And
Mhm.
so what am I doing along the way? Am I expecting something bad to happen? No. But if something bad were to happen, what would I do? Have that thought out before something bad
Yes.
happens so that this
Yes.
way the pressure isn't on you to be like, what do I do? I'm frozen.
Right.
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 So decision frameworks would be my tip number 2. Tip
All
number
right.
3 would be to delegate strategically. So if you're wearing all the hats, start small. Even delegating one task can create breathing room and momentum. I know that's a struggle because some of us may not even feel like we have somebody that we can delegate
Right.
to. But even down to dinner, somebody
Yes.
else can figure that out, right? Like, and if not, hey,
Yes.
we gonna pull through the first drive-through that is available, or we're gonna eat whatever leftovers is in that refrigerator, right? Like, we just gonna make
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
easiest decision if we don't have someone that we can strategically delegate to. But if you do, do that even with something small until you can get in the habit of giving things away, right?
Yes.
Giving it
Oh,
away.
that's great. That's great. I
Mm,
like that it's strategic. Sometimes people think, I can't delegate everything, and we're not asking you to. Strategically
yeah.
find the things you can delegate.
Yeah, stop overthinking, and I think as women, we tend to
Mhm.
have a very hard time of not doing that, right? I can speak for myself. I overthink a lot. And in doing that, it's hard to see those small little minute things that you're doing that you can give away. I think about
Mhm.
working in a restaurant because I think this is a pretty easy analogy to visualize. But if you're the chef, you're not washing the dishes. You know what I'm saying? In a
Right.
high-end restaurant, there's somebody who's washing the dishes, you got a sous chef, you got a fry
Mhm.
cook,
Mhm.
you've got and we're all cooking, right? We're all cooking to get
Yes.
to the end result of that plated meal, right? But the chef is there for the presentation to make sure that that food goes out tasting, looking exactly like his recipe, right? But he's taught the
Mhm.
recipe to others so that they fry
Right.
exactly the way that he wants. They chop exactly the way that he likes it. And you're there to supervise those things, but you're not physically doing it. So if there's
Mhm.
small little things that you have that you can give away, start there. Get you a dishwasher, right?
Yes.
Delegate the
Use
dishes.
DoorDash, use Instacart, use
Uh,
Amazon, use ChatGPT. Find ways that it can help you save time.
Too many, too many, too many. All right. Tip number
Yes.
4, I would say protect time for rest. Rest isn't a reward.
Ooh.
Rest is
Ooh.
not a reward. It's a part of your strategy. When you're rested, your decisions are better, clearer, and more sustainable. So I think we definitely don't do this enough. We
Yep.
think that we have to constantly be going, going, moving, moving, doing, doing. Some of us have restless spirits, and I get that. V, you and I know, like, we might be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just
I was up at 4
restless.
today. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too. I have prayer call in the morning at 4:30. I'm up and I've been up since. And so, we just have a lot of things that keep us going, have a restless spirit, but we know how to rest. And so rest
Yes.
doesn't mean always sleeping. It means I'm turning these things off. Whatever that's got you
Mm.
feeling anxious or like I gotta do or I gotta be. That could be social media, it could be your cell phone, it could be your emails, it could be the TV, whatever it is that's got you where you can't just rest your body.
Mhm.
Um, you need to find a way to get back to that and protect it with all things because again, it's not a reward, it's a part of the strategy. If you can't have the proper rest that you need, then your mind is foggy, right? Like you don't have clear
Yes.
thoughts. You're angry, you're frustrated, you're anxious. You've got all these things. And so if you don't make the time to rest and figure it all out, like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Oh, maybe it's a TV. Let me turn it off. Right? Okay, maybe
Mhm.
it's my phone.
Mhm.
Let me put it on a charger over here across the room.
Right.
Let me read a book and then start getting yourself into some type of habit forming routines that allow you to find your restful place and do that as often as you can and protect it.
Yes.
And
Ebony,
then,
you saying those things, I just want to add, made me think about us a conversation we had before about fasting.
yeah,
Fasting from certain things and how it's necessary. Fast, rest is kind of the same, just throwing it out there. Ebony has a lot of different fasts that she does, which I'm just
hmm
saying, Ebony, it's time for us to, I'm using you to motivate me. It's time for a
it's
fast in
time.
2026.
It's
Yes.
definitely time. We did one in December, so I was just waiting to kind of get through. But I'm feeling the burn. I feel it too. So it's time to get back on it. But so stay tuned for more fasting developments coming up soon.
Yes, please. But yes, you were saying
Yes.
the last tip, tip number 5.
Oh, tip number 5. Oh, and another thing I want to say about protecting time for rest also is, I love the Lord and I don't have any shame about that. And I always recommend for my clients to make time to connect with your higher power. That is part
Mhm.
of your resting strategy, right? Like if you
Mhm.
are resting, you should be in meditation. You should be in meditation of the word, right? Like you
Ooh,
should
yes.
meditate on that and let that rest in your soul, because once you connect with your
Mm.
higher power, there's something bigger than you, right? You start to realize that, like, there's people dying in their sleep. You do realize that, right?
Yes.
Like, there's people
Yes.
who are not waking up in the morning. And so
Mhm.
before I start my day, if I'm able to do that, wake up, Lord, thank you, right? Like, and
Yes.
spending some time connecting and building that relationship is part of that rest strategy. So I just wanted to make a note of that.
Mhm. And being just grateful, that gratitude.
What? All day, every day, honey. All day,
Mhm.
every day. Tip number 5. We're normalizing boundaries, ladies. Okay. Boundaries are
Yes.
selfish. They're necessary.
Yes.
Saying not now protects your energy so you can show up
Yes.
when it really matters. So listen, boundaries are so big. We've been saying this word now for a few years, but like we're
Mhm.
really bringing it home in 26, because it is evident that a lot of women, even based off of our book club, we've read a number of books where all of the books are written by Black women. And they're all faith based, and they help us on our spiritual journey. And every single one of these books talk about boundaries, right? Because
Yes.
we're
Yes.
notorious for not holding firm and true to the boundary, right? Like, no
Exactly.
is a period after that, right? There's no, I've got to get to explaining myself. There is no, feeling sorry for somebody else and putting others ahead of yourself in a self-serving way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta know when to say, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna be able to
Yeah.
do that.
That's not for
I
me. Or
just
not
can't do
now. Like
that.
sometimes it is a
Mm-mm.
not now, and sometimes it is just a no. And I've learned to
Yeah.
just be okay in that pause and in that silent, like
Mhm.
no, and
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
that is so on time, especially at the beginning of the year, because you are
Oh,
getting a
yeah.
lot of people now grabbing at you, and it's like,
Mhm.
nah, I'm gonna just wait on that.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I had somebody to reach out to me and they asked me for some coaching and they wanted an hourly rate. And I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, that's not really my flow, right? Like, I don't want to hit it and quit it with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because so what you're not gonna do is say, yeah, I spent XYZ with Ebony and like I didn't see no results. When the truth is you came for one
Right.
session, right? Like, I don't want to do that. Right. So I
Yes.
sent her, instead of an hourly rate, I sent her a package that, gave her some options that she could put
Mhm.
together for whatever worked best for her. And I didn't hear back from her. And I didn't
Mhm.
follow up with her either, because what I'm saying in 26 as part of my boundaries is like, I know my worth, and I'm not going
Yes.
to settle for, oh, she wants me, she likes me, right? And give you pieces of me that are incomplete, right? I don't want to do that. So
Mm.
if we can't
Yes.
get into a relationship with one another, and then I'm okay with a no, no's
Mhm.
good, right? Like, no's good.
And you're teaching people how to treat you and who you are, and I also have an amazing Black female entrepreneur, Danielle Roche from Salon Roche, same thing. Whenever I first met with her, she does consults, with
Mhm.
people before she decides if she's just gonna do your hair. She's been in business long enough where she knows now her worth, her value. She's not just gonna put a chemical in somebody's hair the first time she starts working with you. It was almost a year before she colored my hair. And I
Mhm.
respected that. And I asked her, I said, why did you do that? And she goes, well, just like you said, I don't need you going saying, well, Danielle did this to your hair, or I don't know what products you've been using in your hair. I have to get to know you. It's a relationship, and
Period.
I
And
don't
that's the relation
negotiate.
that's her boundary. And
Exactly.
that's the boundary that we all should have when it comes to our personal lives, our businesses, and most importantly, when it gets back to, like I say, you got to have a relationship with the Lord or your higher power.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know who you serve, whoever is your higher power. If you believe in one, you should certainly have that in your life. I believe in God, and God is first and foremost in all the things that I do. And so even in my
Hmm.
boundaries, if the relationship is not, it ain't walking up righteous, right? Like,
Right. Right.
uh I don't
Right.
wanna do business with that, you know what I mean? Because then
Yeah.
that means you don't have, it's so many things that you get to learn when you have a boundary, because you think of it like every castle has a wall around it, right? Like, they don't just let
Hmm.
everybody
Hmm.
walk into the castle,
Yes.
you know? Like,
Yes.
so we're not gonna just let anybody have access to our castle, to our,
Right.
to our temple here. And so, nah, boundaries is important, and we need to make sure that we normalize it and not weaponize it in a way where it's just like, oh, she's mean because she won't this, or I've been trying to get her on the phone, but she don't this. Hey, if you calling me with nonsense, you not gonna get me on the phone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
put that out there.
That
you
part.
know
And I think that this generation is doing a better job with boundaries, and they use more
what?
terms like, "Ooh, this person's
Yeah.
weird. I don't like this vibe," or "I'm not feeling this." They're listening however you wanna word it. They're listening to their intuition. They're listening to,
Yeah.
like, their boundaries. Like, does this make sense?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Ebony, thank you so much. Always truth packed, faith based, but strategy focused. So, I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. And we want everybody to follow all things Ebony Sharonda Co. Can you let us know what are some things that's going to be happening the remainder of February, March, the rest of this year for Ebony Sharonda?
Thank you. Thank you. Always glad to be back here. We are rolling out season 2 of the Ebony Sharonda Show. We're coming back with more Chaplain Chats. So stay tuned for more of those
Yes.
deep, intimate conversations with my father, Chaplain Anthony Robinson. We've got a packed 5 more shows. We're going to do 10 shows this season, season 2. In addition to that, we're going to have quarterly a generations roundtable where we'll have
Oh,
someone representing their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 60s on our show, where we're just going to have our roundtable discussions about life, spirituality, being women, mothers, aunts,
yes.
aunties, and grandma, some of us, and new moms, and just what that life is like for us. So stay tuned for more of those things to roll out on the Ebony Sharonda Show season 2. And then we are out there on YouTube on the Ebony Sharonda channel, where we've got our Thursday Bible study. We're closing out the book of Job, so you guys can join us. All the recap videos for those are out there. We have our Salvation Roundtable. We are now getting ready to launch our men's group meeting. That'll be live on our YouTube channel as well. Those will be recaps of our men's group, which is fire, by the way. All of these things are part of our ministry at Kingdom Building Ministries. So we're just trying to
Oh,
get the word out there, using a lot of just natural, regular, everyday conversations that my family is already having, and we're just recording them and sharing with others, and hope that they can come on into the kingdom. That's it.
yes. Can I get keys to the kingdom? That's what I'm
Come
talking
on in, boo. Come
about.
on in.
Yes. So, Ebony, you got any time on your hands? Every time everybody's like, I'm getting ready for this call, this study, this page. I got this client. I'm about to be teaching. I'm like, girl.
Oh yeah, I do start training for teaching. I'm going to be being a facilitator for a new small business micro entrepreneurship program here in Greenville, but it is a nationally recognized program. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm also going to be doing some adjunct teaching at our technical school, where I'll be working in the construction department, which is focused primarily on helping to bring awareness around electrical and the trades, and showing women, particularly our Black girls and boys, that trades is cool and they should come on into the program. So I'll be doing some of that as well this year. And, Cassie Electric is still out here. So we still, hey, snatching up
Cassie
clients.
Electric ain't going nowhere, baby.
Anybody out there looking for an electrical contractor, holla at your girl. We are out here in South Carolina, looking for ways to keep
Yes.
connecting, and we will, holla at your girl. I'll go national, just depends.
Ow! know, we can always negotiate that price, as we talked about. We know our
Just
value.
saying. We know.
Well, Ebony, thank you. I could not think of anybody else other than you to close out Black History Month. Ebony will also be the next person next time we do a live. That will be on a live. We just had our first live on YouTube with the great Elena Anthony, but I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Veronica Edwards Show. Thank you, and thank you for your support in the chats, Ebony Sharonda. And I want to remind everybody to subscribe to YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, all that fun stuff. And until next time, stay balanced and financially savvy.